We always had a few second rule. You couldn't laugh at a guy until you knew he wasn't dead.
Right.
But then we kind of changed it, Well, as long as he's not like almost dead, you can go ahead and laugh.
Right.
But you got to keep, laughing is something that God put inside of us that sometimes I would laugh while getting hooked.
Mm-hmm.
But it was just a different way of coping with a really intense situation.
Yeah.
And there, there's nothing like, and you know how it feels, but sometimes things just happen. It's like a car crash. You didn't see it coming. What happened?
Right.
But then there's other times that you go, this is going to hurt. and you still do it. There's a big difference.
Yeah.
I mean, it's kind of like being in a car and going, okay, I'm going to crash this car. And you see it coming. You're anticipating and everything. That's a whole lot different than it just blindsided.
Mm-hmm.
And I guess that was the thing that just always, I don't know if motivation is the right word, but the excitement of knowing that I'm going to get my butt kicked and doing it anyway.
Yeah.
And then a lot of times I get my butt kicked or whatever, then afterward they go, that wasn't that bad. That wasn't that bad.
What's crazy is with bullfighters, not only the fact that you got to go into that mentality every single night, for 3 or 4 nights, however long the rodeo is, but also like most of the time or some of the time, you may not even know who it is that you're going in to
more times
save
than
the bull
not.
from.
Yeah, absolutely.
You're not familiar with the person.
Nope.
Or another step further, you don't like him.
Yeah.
And you still go in.
Yeah.
That's what's crazy.
It is.
It's one thing you see a mom doing something for her child.
Yeah.
There's a God-given instinct there that causes her to react, but
totally.
Like when a man steps in that gap for somebody he doesn't like, and that's got to happen every rodeo. There's going to be at least 1 or 2 bull riders.
Some knucklehead bull rider.
Yeah.
And there are knucklehead bull riders.
Yeah.
And that's something that I believe you either got or you don't have.
Yeah.
I really do. And to prove my point, even after I retired. So in 14, in 2014, I retired. It'd been 25 years. So then I'd been producing rodeos for quite a few years. Well, one of the rodeos that I produced, so I'm retired now. I'm not a bullfighter anymore. I've got my tie on, my suit coat and everything. And Bobby Welch, he's at our rodeo, and he's last to go. And he rides this bull, and he steps off of me, and he hangs a spur in the bull rope.
Ooh.
And the bullfighters that I had hired, they stepped through there and tried to do their job, and it's not that they did anything wrong, but he had that spur hung in that bull rope, and it slung Bobby around, and then that bull seen the bullfighters that direction, and then turned and seen Bobby, and man, it was an easy target. Well, here I am with my clipboard, I'm running a rodeo and everything, and I never even hesitated. I just shot the gap, and man, I got smoked. Of course, I don't have any pads on or anything like that, because I always fought bulls with pads, try to protect my vitals and things like that. And this dude, man, he smoked me, and it hurt, but I made a save, and so Punkintown rodeo clown, Frankie Smith, he was the barrel man at the time. He comes up there and he goes, Cory, you got to turn that switch off. I'm like, I don't know where it's at. I mean, so now I have to position myself that there's no chance that I'm going to step out there. I'm way too far out of the way. But it's because for 25 years I'd been telling myself to go. Yeah. Now all of a sudden I'm supposed to just go, man, that's going to hurt.
Yeah,
I couldn't do it. Couldn't do it.
Yeah.
But then I looked up in the crow's nest, and my wife's looking at me and staring at me, and I'm like, oh.
A little frustrated.
She was upset with me.
I got to reading a lot of the books coming off of the war overseas and GWAT. And there's one story that pops up a few times. It's Mike Mansour. I think they were in Ramadi, and him and 2 other Navy SEALs are on the roof, and somebody throws a grenade over, lands in the middle of him. He's got a stairwell to his right, and then Navy SEALs in front of him, and he jumps on the grenade, kills him. His name's Mike Mansour, and saves their life, obviously. Anyhow, it's just like this entrancing story, and I feel like every single man that hears that immediately wonders if they would do that.
Right, sure.
Sure. And I don't know. I would hope that I would, but it's how long do you have to think about it?
Yeah.
Because it was a different book from a different person that wrote a story that same thing happened. The guy yelled grenade, jumped back. It ended up being a dud or something, or not a grenade.
Oh, wow.
And they jokingly, for the rest of that deployment, called him Medal of Honor. And just like as a joke, you know, that he, oh, thanks, man.
Yeah, no kidding.
Grenade! Well, I'm out of here. But anyway, I don't know which one I would be. I really don't. And the thing that made me think about that is, you know, you tend to, you saying you either have it or you don't. What was your experience watching? You know, you've instructed a lot of young guys. Like, I mean, is there no way? For instance, the kid that said they're going to name their children in honor of me.
Yeah.
Could that guy be the guy that eventually shoots the gap with Bobby?
I think so, and here's why I say that. If they would experience what that feels like, push beyond that limit.
Shooting the gap or saving someone?
Both. And because you can watch it happen and just not have that oomph to do it, and you may never get it. But if you made yourself, and almost like me as an instructor, push you, and you go, oh, man, you got me hooked. And then you go, that wasn't that bad. Actually, that felt kind of good. Then that something clicks. Mm-hmm. You know, and I didn't need somebody to push me. I wanted that feeling. Mm-hmm. I wanted to do something that a lot of these guys weren't willing to do. Yeah. And so I see that in different young guys when I was helping or whatever, or even that I see, you know, fighting bulls, is you can see when that light switch goes off. Mm-hmm. And especially to the schools. You get a guy to finally step in there because he just knew that if he ever grabbed a hold of one, he would die. Right. So he grabs a hold of one, and then he doesn't die. And it's like, wait a minute.
Yeah.
Man, I can do this.
Right.
And that's that. And in my opinion, facing a fighting bull is the best way to find out real quick. Because the fight comes to you. Yeah. You don't take the fight to them bulls.
Right.
Like when them bucking bulls, you got to go fight them. Them fighting bulls, they bring it to you.
They sure do.
And so then then the light goes off because that fight came to you. You stepped around them or you get hooked, whichever, but then you walk away from it going, I think I can do this. Mm-hmm. But how many opportunities does a guy miss because it's waiting for him to take the fight to him? And if they always say, well, I want a cowboy protect, but I don't want to freestyle, that, in my opinion, is missing an opportunity to get ahead of the game and start growing as a bullfighter. Mm-hmm. Face your fears. Let it come to you. Steamroll you. As opposed to, man, I just need a nudge. That's the biggest difference to me.
Yeah.
And that's just maybe a philosophy of mine or whatever. Yeah. But I learned it through experience.